So my childhood was very hard. I was the oldest of 4 kids. My parents were absent my entire childhood, and eventually we went to foster care when I was 13, and we were all separated. Getting into my adulthood was very difficult since I didn't have the influences that I felt like I needed. So I had to learn everything the hard way, and I went through a lot of trial and error, and I was in addiction. I was an alcoholic. Both of my parents were alcoholics and in addiction, so that's all I really got to see as a child. And when I was 24, I got pregnant with my son, Roman. I didn't step up to be the mom that I needed to be. I fell deeper into my addiction, and I started hanging out with the wrong people and doing the wrong things, even worse than I was doing before. And I got pregnant with my second child. I just knew that I couldn't do it, and I truly didn't know what steps to take. I didn't know who to call, who to turn to. So I made the decision to have an abortion. It was 2 years later that I got pregnant with Lily, and I had no idea what I was going to do. I was so lost, but I knew I couldn't have another abortion. I didn't feel right. I was so scared. Whenever I had my ultrasound with her, they had asked me how many times I'd been pregnant, and I told them that this was my third. And they asked me how many children I had, and I said only one. And at that very moment, I realized how hard it was for me to talk about having an abortion and how much of a toll it really did take on me. When Lily was 2 years old, I decided to take control of my life, and I went to rehab, and I got clean. And it wasn't easy, but it was totally worth it. But it was awesome to be able to be there for her and with her and watch her grow. And I got into a relationship with Brian, and it was great. You know, we were both in sobriety. It was great. We had a pretty good relationship. And then I found out I was pregnant with his baby. It was just, there was a lot of struggles with our relationship at that point. So naturally, just like I've done before, that's my initial decision was to have another abortion. And me and Brian was going to break up, and I was just going to be this mother to Lily and to Roman. I was really active with my church, and that was the only family that I had at that moment was my church family. And there was this beautiful woman, Carol. I had this abortion scheduled on a Wednesday. And at church on Sunday, she asked me if I wanted to do lunch. And she just threw out the day Wednesday. And I knew I had the abortion set up for 2:30. And she asked me if I would meet her at 11:30. And I said, yeah. So when we got there, I wasn't going to tell her that I was going to have the abortion because I was just going to go do it and live with it. And I didn't know what that was going to look like, but I knew that that was what I was going to have to do. I mentioned it to her right before we were leaving, and she told me that 3 abortions was part of her story. And she asked me if we could pray. So we did, and she sent a message out to her prayer group, and they come flooding in with texts. And one of them said, have her check out her options first. Have her go to the Hope Clinic. So it's like 12:30 at this point, and this abortion's scheduled in 2 hours. So she asked me if I could go ahead, or if I would go ahead and go to the Hope Clinic with her just to check out my options. A nurse came in and asked me if I wanted to do an ultrasound. When I got my ultrasound, I thought I was 12 weeks pregnant. And I know from my first abortion that they don't tell you how far along you are before they give you the abortion. And when I got my ultrasound, I found out I was 16 and a half weeks pregnant. I seen a whole baby on that screen. And when I saw it, I knew I knew that I was making the wrong decision. Carol was there with me, and she brought Karen, who was the one who suggested the Hope Clinic, and they were in there with me when I was doing my ultrasound, and they looked like two proud grandmothers, and they were so excited. And with their excitement, I knew that I had somewhere to turn. I knew that I had people on my side, and I knew that God put me at lunch with Carol that day for a reason, and He put me in the Hope Clinic that day for a reason. Once I decided to keep her, I started praying more. I started talking to some counselors and therapists at the Hope Clinic. So me working on myself really helped a lot to help me even prepare for the baby. But it was definitely a God thing. My relationship went from, it being really rocky to it being so amazing, and us actually having something to look forward to and be proud of. And we were excited. And God brought all of these amazing, beautiful people into my life. People from the Hope Clinic, friends, family that I haven't talked to in years come back, and they could see that I was making the right decisions in my life and the right choices for my life to actually change. I could feel myself maturing, and me and Brian made the decision to get married. So we got married a month before Aubrey was born on the beach. It was amazing. It was the happiest day of both of our lives. And it was so beautiful to watch my babies grow and to be there for her from the time that she was born, every step of the way. And it's so rewarding now to know that me making the right choice led me to here where I'm at in life right now. For the first time in my life, I'm happy. I'm truly happy. And I never thought that this was the life I was going to live. I never saw myself here, especially where I come from. I never thought I deserved it, but it's not up to me to say what I deserve. My life now is happy for the first time, and I feel the Holy Spirit leading me every step of the way. And every day I know that God is walking with me, and He's talking through me, and He's helping me through this, and that for the first time in my life, I can see what He's capable of, and there's no turning back.